Sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes. Yep. Bum hey. Bum. Pop pop. Ba da 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 da. Pop pop. Ba da 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 da. Zipper da 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 da. Pop pop pop. Ah, okay, I think we're good. Go. Oh, hey, what's up, Vigil? Aston, good to see you. Hi, SB.
Ever in this tournament so far.
Well, getting out with like a razor's edge too, like just playing it to the bleeding edge.
The timing on the dives has been good. Pressure on the Raja
Italy almost full cat. Wow, Denmark struggling just a wee little bit here.
Won't be able to drop an EMP just
What's
yet
up?
now because of how far away
I am going to be eating a sweet potato like a caveman.
Going for more of engage.
And there's nothing you can do to stop me.
Last opportunity for Denmark here on point A. Shax's going to the back line.
Oh, no.
Already down. Denmark finally finds a good engage, and Rajian can thrash upon the point all he wants. This time around, not going to be enough. In fact, he does go to the point. He just says, I'm out.
Yeah, EMP beats. That's going to be enough sustain and enough push through for Denmark to take the point. The real question now is
starving.
Set up.
I haven't had enough
Queen
to eat
like
today,
not,
so screw you guys.
Winston, not Diva, so like it's very difficult to get on the point. Has to do some. Yeah,
I think this is the last
to get up there.
Unless Doge uses ultimate and then gets another one real quick. This is probably. Oh my goodness! The rampage hits 4. Was fall through there? I don't know if the rest of Denmark was ready. Doge just dies instead. Oh man! I mean, you probably should wait for the team on some level. That's one of those things where you go, team.
At some level. At some level, a sick rampage is a sick rampage.
Basically, you just cook a sweet potato.
No follow through. Like everyone goes.
You overcook it almost to an extent, so it's like really soft
and no kills.
in the skin.
No kills.
And then you just refrigerate it.
Like this is a moment where
and you have a nice cold sweet potato, and the skin just falls off.
Yeah. Doge still on the junker.
Oh, you're making a pizza?
Queen.
Yo, what are you putting on it?
Well, verticality be damned.
And yeah, everyone up top. So here's the thing, though, like for Denmark, like even if you try to like jump to shuttle right now, you're not getting the shuttle. There's coach gun.
So this
there's
was credit card needed.
You're never landing shuttle.
Anyone want to volunteer theirs?
Denmark is in a pickle. A long way to go, and only a minute 30 left to do it. Kellix gets caught.
I volunteer.
Take that trade all day if you're Italy.
Red Knight.
The feeling is just not there now for it.
What happened? Pay up. Where's the credit card and the social security number?
Absolutely have my tracer.
Oh.
You can have it.
You can have, I don't want this anymore.
That's much better. Real men eat them raw.
Down. Shax finds that the tables do turn a bit. Nano Yukino. I don't know if that was the intention. Might have been trying to go for Rajan instead, but hey, Yukino making good use of it nonetheless.
Ah, yeah,
It's like those moments where like you shouldn't have been nano, you're like, I guess, and then you try your best, right? Like
cue the Boostio memes.
Oh, sack!
Right.
Sack! Sack needs to kill.
It's been a bit.
I need to wash my hands.
Into existence. Okay, so Denmark,
real men
trying
also
to set
wash
back
their
up.
hands.
Like it's really about the MP again, trying to get everyone on MP. Italy is running a composition that like not everyone's always near each other, but I think what you're trying to do is get like one support in the tank. It should be like a shuttle EMP. Maybe you even like aggressively translocate, but they're gonna see it coming. Yeah, this squad right here. This is what you want.
This is the view. Viewpoint of a
where's
Sombra
the
about to
like,
do
you don't have a
things.
tank to dive
big EMP.
Kind of calm me down immediately. Shax was there.
Shax with the assassination.
Yukino just gets
I freaking
gunned
love Shax
down.
on Tracer.
The clip from Naga. Poetry in motion. You love to see it. And Denmark,
Shax Tracer.
very strong engage off the EMP. The follow through is there, and with 5
Trade
seconds left to
though,
go,
on Doge.
Denmark still has the opportunity to end this in 2.
I think we get some sub. I appreciate it.
Primal.
No more gift and subs.
Stall this. You stall it for Primal.
Duh.
You stall it for.
I'm surprised you're even able to eat anymore.
There we go. Stall comes
You're
out.
too generous, mate.
Yukino needs to live. Yukino needs to live. Rajon
Ooh!
needs Primal.
Come on, Shaxy!
Still alive. Primal
Why
comes
does that
out.
rally
Here's
stop them?
Italy
They're gonna have
almost back
Cole,
at
though.
full strength.
They should be able to sustain through this.
Cole needs to get it soon as Doge gets
Oh my
taken
gosh.
on down. Italy wants the map 3, and they're so close to forcing it. Chimera.
Rig dies.
Bomb ready to go. Cole gets one. Counter bomb.
Pulse is
gets the stick.
faded.
The fade.
Alright, Shax, what do you got? Alright, Shax, what do you got? Alright, Shax, what do you got?
Reserve denies the bomb value.
Oh no.
But Italy
Oh, no.
still around on the point. Rajon and Yukino just stubbornly alive.
No way!
Somehow, some way. Rajon is like 5 HP for 5 hours.
No
What
way,
is going
man!
on?
No way! This team, Denmark. Wow,
holding on.
no!
Respawn
Wait, didn't
advantage now
Spain lose to
rearing
Italy
its
too?
head. Good delay by
Italy's just
Doge, but
ruining
how much
people,
longer
man.
can it last?
Even a
Down
map
goes
drop
Doge,
here is
down goes
crazy.
Denmark. Map 3 is in the cards.
Do you have any videos on how to weave in damage in Kiriko?
Goes Denmark. I mean,
No, but it's basically to my knowledge, it is heal, shoot, shoot, heal, shoot, shoot, heal, shoot, shoot. That's the optimal way of doing that, but I think it's hard to do. And it might slow down your healing a little bit. I am not 100% certain. So worst case scenario, you could just do shoot, heal, shoot, heal. That's not terrible either.
pushing Denmark to the brink. Denmark has to win this map. They have to win this match.
Although I will say that the way that Kiriko plays, weaving is important, but you won't be doing it all the time. You will be focusing a little bit more on healing and damage because your healing requires a little bit of accuracy. It's not going to be like shoot damage, shoot damage, shoot damage like BAP on the tank, or just a little bit more like sometimes you'll focus on just like finishing a kill. So you saw that Discord orb? I did. I saw that. Yeah.
Also,
I mean, I think it's okay as long as it maintains its high like damage output.
Just watching this with popcorn, and it's kind of like Loki and Ragnarok, the movie where he's like, "Yeah, that's how it feels."
What else did they say? What else did they say in the thing? Somebody link the discussion, will you? I forget. There was a couple of changes they said they were going to make.
Ruin your day, but yeah, we talk about Spain being an X factor. Gotta put some respect on Italy's name here, forcing the map 3. Where
Yeah, I agree with that, Gregor. Yeah. I think very rarely will you be doing damage, heal, damage, heal. More about selective, depends on the circumstance. Orisa and Ryan increase frontline presence. Yeah, see, that scares me. That scares me. Orisa and Ryan increase frontline presence. That makes me nervous. What does that mean? Orisa doesn't need more frontline presence. Ryan doesn't really need more frontline presence. I don't even think Ryan needs any more buffs, to be honest with you. I think Ryan's pretty balanced right now. I think and Orisa certainly doesn't need more frontline presence. Orisa has enough frontline presence. Well, it's not just Orisa buffs, but like, you don't want to give her more frontline presence. Like, that's the opposite of what she needs. So that bothers me. The hero lacks range and mobility. She lacks like the most fundamental aspects of the heroes.
Generally, they were running like Fryu on support.
Yeah. Increased control over Sojourn's real good primary fire spread. That's really good. Shifting power away from Torbjorn and towards the rest of their kit. That's also good. Assuming we'll have to see the buffs, but that sounds good. Slight adjustments to weaken Zinya's Discord ability. I think that's a slight. I think it's fine. But increased frontline capacity of Reinhardt Orisa makes no sense.
Alright, well, you love to see it. Map 3.
What are your thoughts on Coach Pugs like Elohel hosted back in the day? Possible. It's definitely something that I get asked for a lot, and like, oh, you should do it, you should do it. I just don't know how good of content they are. They might be great content, I don't really know, but they're a lot of work. So I would have to. It's something that's on the back burner for now, but we will revisit at some point, I'm sure. Yeah, maybe Ryan needs a little bit more health, maybe, yeah. But he's already really good frontline. Like, I don't know why you would want to. Thank you. I did a bunch, maybe. I mean, it's definitely depends on the person. You know what I'm saying? Ah, on the person. You know.
I got a total cube. Apparently, I don't know what happened, but all the ones that were left in the.
Oh.
So they had to relight. So they took 30% off.
Tripod.
And I have 9. And there's another one.
Ah. Oh, I just the thing was still stuck on it, so I didn't get it out. Yeah. Oh.
Listen, you should be enjoying this.
Wish my cow today. So does cow skin. I don't have to enjoy cow skin. Seeing Discord changes makes me excited. I hope they change and they need to feel more fair to play against. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I just hope that they don't do too much to Ana Zen, because not only am I biased because I freaking love Ana Zen, but also Ana Zen are like some of the more enjoyable supports to play with. You know, like everyone's like, oh, like Ana's too powerful, Ana's too powerful. Well, what do you want instead? Do you want a bat meta? Do you want a Mercy meta? Moira? You know? Like, you gotta pick your poison here, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't exactly be like, oh, yeah, Ana's too strong. Well, yeah, for who do you want other than Ana? And I know people complain about Discord, but I'd rather have Zen than pretty much every other meta. And even the problem with that is it's like, even like heroes like Lucio, which are relatively honest, Lucio metas aren't always... Lucio metas get really old, you know? The Lucio itself is fun, but like the metas that he enables a lot of times aren't super fun. You know what I'm saying? Brig meta? Brig's okay. I think Brig is like relatively okay. I still don't like what they did to her rally. At least, I'm sorry guys. I still, to this day, I cannot believe what they did to her shield. Like, what on earth? Sometimes I wake up at nights and I go, that's not a fever dream. That's real. Kiriko meta is okay. Yeah, because the Bat meta is boring because the hero is boring. The hero is okay in bursts, but man, his design is not aged very well in Overwatch 2. Like, the problem with Bat is his weapon play is fun, his abilities fine, but his abilities are terrible. Shift and Lamp are awful abilities.
You know what? Italy came into this tournament with one goal. Mess up everyone's bracket, bring some chaos, Hex, because that's what we got here as Denmark is sweating. Map 3 in the cards once more as Italy, once again...
Tracer, Genji, Lucio team in rank? Yeah.
And remember, if they win here, Denmark is out. Denmark is quite literally...
The problem with like the old school Lucio dive is that Kiriko just does that job so much better, or Brig does that job so much better. Yeah. Hey, Paul, what's up, mate?
I mean, it really, Italy is the chaos agent. They are the agent of chaos. So, I mean, the question is like, where does...
All right, well, we're going back in, mates. We're going back in.
Where does Denmark bring us, was my question. New Queen Street, because we saw Italy rock Spain on Esperanza. And also, I think Colosseo actually plays into their vibe as well.
I did not like the Jerks meta.
New Queen Street.
I thought it was a little bit dull.
I mean,
however, I do agree with you that Kiriko
like, I feel
definitely makes that meta more interesting.
Because we saw Italy
absolutely
win
not
there.
What am I
and we
drinking?
saw
Protein shake.
Denmark just the reason why Denmark is in this is because they couldn't like finish out Strongline Esperanza. So yeah, I feel like for Denmark, that's a no-go zone. They're like, no, we're not going there.
Yeah, I mean, it took me a second to think.
Hey, Nicholas, I mean, yeah, why not? You got a problem with that? You gonna fight me? Anything that rhymes with ghost is mid. True.
As far as like the push maps that are in the pool,
Just there's, yeah, I don't know.
Better on this map than
I don't know.
anywhere else because there's not a ton of.
I think this past stage was okay. I know people complain about the Somber Tracer towards the end, and I agree. But for the majority of this past stage in Overwatch League, it was a decent amount of variety. Especially like the low to mid tier teams, it was pretty fun to watch.
Where they shouldn't have run JQ,
Coke
they
floats.
ended up running.
This guy.
And
S tier sense of humor.
Here, see if there's any late subs. Oh, there is. Interesting decision here. So
Shockwave's in.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Shockwave is really good. I just
All right,
think
well,
last time we saw Shockwave,
New Queen Series push maps always can be a little bit, not always. It can be a little bit weird. So there is a chance Italy whittles this one out.
I mean,
I have not been impressed with Doge's RAM or Denmark when they play RAM comps in general.
That's the question. That's how you
So
decide between Shockwave.
let's see.
I just worry here is that, you know, again, there's
I'm so torn here because I like a lot of the players, and you know, Kellex and Slay and Doge and Naga and Shockwave, especially Kellex and Slay,
like warming up, yeah.
and obviously Shax, obviously. But like, it would be really cool to see it upset.
It's more of a negative omen than a good omen.
Yeah.
It really has.
I'll give you a huge throwback. Taimu used to like complain to me constantly about getting subbed in. He hated it. He hated it.
That fits. I mean,
Life Weaver meta? I don't know, mate. I don't know. Nice shot by Shockwave. Holy crap.
Gets Chimera immediately.
Italy's gonna try to close the
Points
distance
there,
and brawl
just
people up.
Performance. Exactly what Denmark needs to come out strong here on push.
Yeah, I think he's still the worst support, but I think it remains to be seen how impactful the spread changes.
Right, and also, it's so clutch for like the composition they're running too, because it allows Shockwave to like pick whatever he wants to play from angle-wise. Also, like I generally just thought this was going to be a good map for Denmark, just like seeing Doge on Ramatra. Like Rajan has been a solid tank. He's been fine for Italy. But
his mid-fight is so bad. Yeah.
Ramatra, I take Doge 11 times out of 10.
I think that's a super good point. In terms of tank matchups,
I'm glad that they keep buffing his damage and spread and stuff like that, like giving him stuff to do. Now if they just like make the healing damage swap simpler, I think it would be good to go. Ooh, what a rotation!
On the ambush, Shockwave
Yummy!
A little bit of revenge here.
Yummy alert!
Pass the other way, Rajian. Getting poked down a bit.
Video she showed me.
Heavy pressure
Oh,
from
this is the
all
funniest thing I've ever
sides.
seen.
Lycan has the Cole. Probably gonna drop it.
Questionable Cole. They're not going to be able to push
Thing is,
this any
Denmark
deeper
just
than they are right
continual
now.
retreat. Not even just robot getting
but
pushed here. The robot
winning
just
that fight is
standing on his,
nice.
lonesome here.
I mean, like it
What they've done with Life Weaver is they've moved away from his like charging and they've moved into just like fluidity of play. So I think Life Weaver might actually be the next buff for me for Life Weaver would be
Chimera low, beat in from Catacombe.
would be to reduce the swap delay. You know? Hey,
Pretty healthy. Denmark dropped the beat in turn.
good luck, mate. That would be sick. I haven't not been following the Asian teams near as much as I should.
Chimera to add on to it. Good Blizzard, good fall through. Denmark.
Is Life Weaver's reactive gameplay similar to that? Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Walled, blizzarded, you're not going to survive that if you're the enemy tank. Well, I mean,
So Italy really fumbles the bag there. Terrible Cole. The beat felt a little bit early as well. There was like indecision about like where they wanted the push would be or not.
For a while.
And then
so I think
obviously
the
that
big thing
happened.
We're looking for Italy, if they want
Swap
to
delay is
play
too
this
punching.
back,
If you were able to fix the swap delay, I think
Yukino's
the hero
gotta
would be
go
like
nuts, you know,
in a like actually a fairly
it's
decent
that
spot.
thing, it's like hit shots. It's a gamble.
You got overclock, time to use it. Overclock comes out.
Woo!
That's it!
That's a big fight win.
Saga. Exactly what was
If they could
needed
keep
here
the
for
ball
Italy.
rolling here.
Now, even if they don't get any more,
Ooh.
Naga's been offering so
Go-
much for
Doge?
Rajian. That's still Rajian goes down!
Oh,
That
Doge
little bit of
just
extra DPS counts enough to push
won! He
over the
dies.
edge.
Okay, Moira.
But Doge falls in turn. Italy's still going to keep momentum here on the fight. But
They stop
really
before the
good
cap,
effort by
too.
Denmark to
It's a nice wall.
Yeah, well, it's also important though too. Like Denmark does.
Well, they need to get a kill here. They need to get a
Don't
kill.
think
Nice, huge kill.
Yeah.
Coalescence is used
It's
again.
gonna be all about like Yukino. Like Yukino.
At least they get a
finally
stagger
gets
kill
something
off of
going
it,
on here.
but
I mean, that
Italy
goal
is
got
like
slow- that
never
goal is
getting
like,
much
nothing's
progress
gonna
off of
happen here,
these.
Just the last little
Korea and Japan
challenge
rolling. I didn't even
touch
see.
that
I didn't even
way.
know Japan was
That's the weird thing
rolling.
about coalescence is like
How's my
you
day
don't
been?
think
I'm
it's
good,
that-
Fi. Appreciate it.
Damaging.
I was
but then
thinking
you
of you
get that,
today
and you're like, oh,
because
I
I
guess
finally have been
that's
catching up on
pretty
some of the last couple of charity goals.
strong.
And I just did the
Alright,
recording
Italy
for
getting
the
themselves back into it.
Spiral
Denmark
Karaoke
rained on the
this
spike.
morning.
Gonna need to dodge the cold and wear some headphones, block out the music.
Yeah, so
Tough fight for Denmark.
and then that
So,
and
almost up on their own.
we
Italy
still have
wants
the
to engage.
still have
They
the
wanna engage
cosplay,
before Denmark
so.
is fully ready. Immortality
Ooh,
field
nice
forced
little
out
flip
early,
there.
Slay in danger. Gonna counter here with
Deep
Widow,
Blizzard,
Window,
it's a good
trying
one,
to
too.
punish and turn.
Not necessarily in terms of the execution, but at least it created a lot of space. The problem is they keep combining ultimates instead of chaining one or the other. You just arrived back home?
To stay in it. Both teams
How was your
small
flight?
resources. Blizzard out here for now from Denmark, and it
Cheers, White
freezes
Deception.
Rajion right out of the fight. Good counterplay from Denmark.
Ash or Sojourn? I think Sojourn's. I mean, I think both. I mean, it depends on what you're playing, right? For what Denmark's playing, Ash seems fine. For what Italy's playing, Sojourn seems fine.
I mean, there's times where like you feel like you should be
I
pumping in
don't
your
know, I
tanks
chucked
with
it at you in
heals,
the
but
grass
at
the other
highest
day.
level, like they can deal with one. You take one heal.
Why you watch at low quality? I don't know. Am I?
Just went 1v1 with Yukino and like,
I don't know, Chad.
place you
I
necessarily want to be a
dumb
little
as
bit
rocks. But
brutal
yeah,
and
Italy's really
Denmark
fumbling the bag
taking
with a couple of these fights.
super
So Denmark
hard
looks like they got it here.
advantage I mean, this one, like,
Yeah, thank you for the
so,
kind words of the
I
L
guess, like,
analysis. I appreciate it.
mathematically, Italy has to win like
Uh,
4 points in a row, uncontested.
Yeah, and I mean, step one.
Coals
is
have been
the
questionable.
block that
Italy's
is
been
right
having a
here. Yeah,
really
like,
hard time getting value out of their
but they're in a
beats and
tough spot. They had to
blizzards.
come from behind
Both
in
have
the
been
last
quite
match, we'll
bad.
never forget, so. Here we go.
Yo, sup, Jazz? Thanks for the
On
sub,
to
mate.
the approach. 90% for Rajion. Chimera down!
Oh man, that's got to be a
Burst
shockwave
off
kill.
the back
Oh,
window.
ooh, actually huge. Actually huge.
And Italy, despite the rough start, the
Oh,
counter
maybe
engage,
not the best of beats.
really
Maybe
good.
not the best of beats.
even though
You
they
really
use
don't
both
want to have to use
overclock and
beat
pull
there.
forward, better to use it if
Like that again. There's always an
No,
asterisk
it's
to every time
brilliant.
Italy
It's
wins a
like,
fight.
there's
It's like,
two things you
oh,
can
that
do
was
in Australia.
huge.
Like,
Oh wait, you
lose
committed
Chimera,
beat.
like, oh, well, I guess we
I mean,
fought
I
back.
know the
That's
Ramacho,
really-
but the guy's in a
we
perma
don't
block
win.
phase. It's
We
not.
don't go
It's
down.
not
I can't
scary.
fall back at that point. Like,
Exactly, right? So we're boned otherwise, so
What is
might
it?
as well throw it down. And
Okay,
keep
thank you.
hitting
Can I have a
the
teeny bit of
shots.
water really fast? Thanks.
What a great
You were
play.
brain dead. High
And,
mechanical
yeah,
height scans. My
now they're
macros
in
improved so
decent
much thanks to.
position,
Ah,
start getting
awesome, mate.
hard push, but
Awesome.
Denmark is going to just pull the bot right back.
Oh, okay.
Chimera
Well,
finds
the
Shockwave
trade.
early. Both teams down. Their ranged hit scan, so
I would rather
it's
lose
all
the
about
Sojourn than lose
May.
the Ash.
Blizzards on both ends. Naga
The
versus
Shockwave's
Chimera.
closer to his ult, and you know,
Who's gonna
Shockwave,
come out on
Shockwave.
top here? Naga,
Oh
Blizzard
no.
first,
Oh,
Chimera
he dies when
down.
he's releasing the
Once
blizzard
it's
again. These
Slay.
blizzards are just
No window required.
like
Finds it.
Italy's just
Rajion
not.
turns
Come
into a
on,
popsicle,
Chimera or Chimera.
and Denmark
Thank you.
maintains the pressure as only 3 minutes remain.
That was
for Italy,
wild.
And a big gap to overcome.
Like that was such a huge start for
Gonna be
Italy,
May,
even with
as
the trade,
always.
and they just
It turns
fumble it.
out in Denmark now both support ultimates too.
Yeah,
Like,
get off
actually,
the
those
May,
support
mate.
ultimates
It
look
ain't it.
great,
The May
but, like,
ain't it.
one of the
He's not
closeout
playing the May
ultimates here,
well.
if they can turn the corner, is getting Bob like right around the corner. It ends up being so
Italy has
brutal
not
to
looked
fight
good
into.
on this comp.
So, yeah, right here, if they can turn like 4 more meters, the Bob's a closeout ult.
Chimera, meanwhile, onto the Hanzo.
And now they have to
Sometimes
give
you go
up
fishing,
more
hope
cap. Well, they don't have to
you
give
land a few
that
logs.
much more cap because they just turned around the corner.
You see Slay
Denmark will not be able to really beat engage. I wouldn't be surprised to see Shockwave coach count to the high and look for a Bob in the back line here.
Italy,
Once he gets it.
Yukino.
He's got 98 now. We might see the coach gun at the top
Still
Bob.
looking. Doge on the point.
Oh, maybe
Yukino
not.
able to finish off Doge.
No, he
A
just
lot
loses
of
this fight.
damage
That was
coalesced
crazy.
on the
Okay,
Doge
well.
real fast. Italy though lose Yukino. A little bit wounded across the board. Rajion needs to stay alive. If Rajion dies,
They're gonna
all
commit.
sorts of bad. You see the pressure coming in.
Beat for
comes up.
beat. That
They
beat
didn't
from
know
Italy
how
was
they
good.
have to hold here.
But I don't know if
They
it's gonna
drop
be
the beat,
enough.
but can they
Yeah,
get a
it's not
kill?
enough.
They can't. Slay and Shockwave finish off those in the front. Shockwave now looking for the back.
Yeah,
Hanzo
this is
in
rough.
sights.
And that was the
Denmark.
big one
It's a
here
clean
because of
sweep.
the cap here. I never loved the
100
Random Rush
meters,
compared to
and
the Ram
this
spam
is
comp.
looking grim for Italy.
I mean, Ram Rush
There
is
will
it's
be
really
one more
good.
fight,
It's
but
just
it's
not.
gonna be a pretty one,
It's not
and
being
then
executed
even
very
if
well.
the
I know you could make an
Ram
argument it's not the
Rush
best on this
flawless,
map too. This
the
map
rest
might be a
of
little
the
bit too
map based
open.
On the Mirage, also Annihilation, Blizzard. Those are not things you
Window
want
out.
to fight into.
Yukino used the window. Doesn't even use window. In fact, that was just raw. Fine Shockwave. Nice little pick off by Yukino. Makes this fight a lot less stressful than it could be, but yeah, it's.
I think Denmark.
I mean, it's just gonna be a Naga
in that
Blizzard
fight.
GG's.
No, I mean, Italy's at the foot of Mount Everest right now.
There's
you
no
can't really
beat.
claim you've climbed it at this
So
point.
I don't know.
Very long way to go, and it's going to be arduous. Realistically, Denmark needs to make multiple mistakes, and Italy needs to play
So
out of their minds.
probably gonna see a Sojourn opener. That's a good
Yeah, I
one.
mean, it's a
Window
really
opener
interesting
probably
thing
from
about how
Denmark.
This map plays out to like just be like, oh yeah.
There's a
this is
Sojourn
like,
ult.
you
They're
know,
just trying to live
so
it.
Really important here.
Ooh, he's low.
Look lurking. Fading, Yukino under pressure in turn.
Not a good
Doge
ultimate
goes
from
for the
Doge
Annihilation
at
and
all.
wasn't really near a bunch of people either.
That was
Annihilation
way
really
too far.
Doge now
They
under
catch
very
Kellex,
heavy
maybe.
pressure.
They force ice early. There's the dragon.
Charge here in the back. Razion still has his
Fierce window. Blizzard's gonna be
Razion gets
soon.
super
They're
low.
looking
Razion
for the
gets
flank. They catch the
Immortality
Lucio.
comes out.
Razion. Razion, excuse me.
Down Catacombe. Immortality field gone.
There's a Sojourn on the angle. There's the ultimate. It's a good combo, but I don't think it's going to be enough to win because they're already down a few in this. The Fat Blizzard. Yeah, there it is. They only made a good try of it there at the end, but
Razion
yeah, it's
falls.
not enough.
18 seconds left for Italy, and time running out.
Denmark's done a really good job of
Italy will get a
segmenting
touch,
off,
though, pretty
like,
comfortably.
parts of the squad. So like
Maybe
Ramatra and
they're not
Lucio
pushing
and
anymore.
Raph, they kind of all want to play together. And
Yeah, they'll get a
Denmark's done
touch.
Really good job. Like Kellex
Oh,
2, 1v1
he dies.
versus Lucio.
Catacombe down.
And that's it.
Down again.
Yeah, Catacombe went down.
Disaster!
Goal left for Italy. Emergency.
Have we talked about the rumors of Shaw
stop
getting rid of Finn
if
and
you got
Vindane?
it.
I haven't
Have to work
talked
around
about
the
it,
Bob.
but man, is
Italy,
it weird.
The worst situational
I'm not
matchup.
gonna lie with you guys, it is.
Drop the window.
It is
Mike
weird.
down immediately. Kellex dives it like he just don't care.
There must be
And
some
Denmark,
serious.
they're
Like, let's put it
gonna
this way.
take They
For
stay
that
alive.
move to make sense, there has to be some serious internal issues going on with Shock, because on a mechanics level, from what I know, that's best case scenario a lateral move. Well, hang with me. It's best case scenario a lateral move. Renko is a good flex support player, one of the best in NA. Is he going to be as good as Finn? I mean, Finn hasn't had a great season so far. Maybe. Vindime has also been a weak point of Shock. Luke has a lot of experience on main support. Is that going to be an upgrade? I don't know. I don't know, especially in a mixed team. However, what this might be is this might be internal issues. If this does end up happening, then this could be somebody is very unhappy with either effort, attitude, mentality, something going on behind the scenes. So something that we don't know about. Now that's assuming that the rumors are true, but this leaker does have a good back. So like they've been right many times in a row. So I'm as surprised as you are, but I'm sure that the story is more complicated than what we know, if it's even true. But yeah, it's definitely a question. It's definitely a question for sure. Yeah, Finn could get picked up. I don't. Who would pick Finn up? Who would Finn be good on? He's not looked good this season. But who would Finn be good on? Maybe one of the APAC teams? Surely one of the APAC teams. Dallas. Yeah, maybe Dallas. Yeah. Vegas. I mean, didn't Vegas just pick up a new support? Who'd they pick up? Was it Irony or whatever the guy's name is? Dallas could be, yeah, so whatever's going on with Vegas. Who is a Dragon's Flex support? No. New York Excelsior. Yes, that's exactly what they need, is another support player. Exactly what's needed here. Iris. Yeah, Iris is quite good. I think Iris is quite good. On paper, anyway, Iris and bless, maybe Viper are like the better players on that team. Maybe the Hunters definitely need a support player. The Hunters, I mean, that roster is looking awful skinny. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on with that roster. Oh my gosh, $3 million. How much is Shock one, I wonder? So 4.4 million. Holy cow. That's crazy. From what I know, it's pronounced Iris. Iris. I've known this guy since Contenders, back when he played for Third Impact. I used to think it was Iris too, but from what I know, it's Iris. Don't know why. You know, still 50 million away from paying off the buy-in. Yeah, but they've sold a lot of jerseys, surely, right? Surely, like, you know, they've sold easily, you know, 100,000 jerseys, right? Right, guys? Right? Right? I mean, I can't go out the door without getting hit in the face with this shock jersey. Right? They sold a lot of jerseys. And all the lands. I mean, guys, 2018, 2019. Yeah. And they haven't really put it back on track since then. It didn't also help that COVID was coincided with some of the worst production quality we've ever seen in an esport of all time. And I definitely speak from experience here. I don't speak from experience, but it was really bad. It was really bad. The move to YouTube, which was really controversial. The production quality was really bad. It was just a disaster. Shock may have actually made back their money. Yeah. So no, Toronto made back their money because they would actually no. Toronto's too big budget. Yeah. No idea. Oh, I guess now, like, how much? Okay, let's actually see when this is going to be done here, because I was going to talk about something once I actually know when the next game is. Maybe like the post-match interview, right? There's no rush, right? It's like 5-10 minutes. 10 minutes, maybe. Your depth relieved. Right? How long is it going to be before the next match? Approx. Okay, this guy's here, so I think we'll got some time, right? All right. So I wanted to talk about something, just kind of on a separate note here. So I got a bomb dropped in my Hammertime this morning. But even before Hammertime, this is something that people have been asking me about for like weeks since it was released. The awkward unranked to GM on Tracer. I had people in my DMs. I had people on Twitch chat, in Discord, and then obviously the video has been dropped in here too. Now, how many of you guys have seen or know of the awkward unranked to GM on Tracer? This is the one with SVP. And what's up, Zinsu? So I had to take a look at it for myself, because I liked Awkward's unranked to GM. I liked Awkward's on advice. I think Awkward's on advice was good. You know, we differed in some small minutia, but I think for the most part it was good. The Kiriko advice I wasn't as big of a fan of. I think it felt like a little bit gimmicky. It definitely taught some good things, but it's not the end all be all for Kiriko by any means. There's a lot of gaps, and there's okay. So we'll leave it there. The Tracer one was especially controversial. Well, I guess it was about as controversial as the Kiriko one. And basically, without going into too many details, I'll let you guys watch this. I think it's definitely worth a watch. And as well as maybe the unranked GM is worth a skim. Is basically SVB is getting coached by Awkward, and the number one thing that Awkward really prioritizes is uptime. And I'm not gonna like rehash the content here, but I'll give you my thoughts on it. Basically, the TLDR is that Awkward is an uptime freak. Everything is about uptime, constant pressure, constantly damaging on really all heroes, like just forcing it, limit testing, pushing your limits. And it really went against a lot of my theory, the way that I coach Tracer, not in total, of course, but there's some details that I just didn't agree with at all. And yet, obviously, it's working for a lot of people, and I think the theory of what he was saying made sense at a lot of points in time. And so what I did is I watched some of his unranked GM, I skimmed a lot of it, and then I watched this in full, and I really paid very close attention. And I try to go into things not assuming that I know everything, right? Just because I've been at this a long time, there's still things that I got to learn, right? So I really like focused as hard as I can. And I listened and I took notes and I did a lot of thinking about it on my own. And then I did one step further. After I'd thought about it for a while, I actually messaged a good friend of mine who happens to be the best Tracer player I know and one of the best Tracer players that I've ever worked with, ever. If not the best Tracer player that I've ever worked with. Kitties, no! They are fighting. No! Grimby, no! Out! Sometimes they play, sometimes the play evolves. Anyway, so I talked to one of the best, really the best race player I know, which is Shax. And I said, I talked with him about it, and he was aware of like the whole unranked GM thing, and he knew of Awkward, and talked about like the philosophy. And I basically just picked his brain. And I've obviously worked with Shax for quite a long time. And basically, but I wasn't sure. Like, I really want to make sure I was doing it. And basically, here's my main takeaway. Okay, so Awkward's main fundamentals are, as a person, this is not even Tracer coaching, limit test, practice, learn new skills, push yourself to the limits, make yourself make mistakes so that you can learn better from it. Always be like limit testing and pushing yourself, right? And so what that does is a lot of his coaching reflects that psychology, that philosophy, which is it's a great philosophy. It's a great way of approaching things. How that applies to his Tracer coaching is always be doing damage, always be putting pressure. You can even start with your team on main if you'd like to. Take an off angle mid-fight if you want to. But you shouldn't be looking for like these long flanks, these long setup stages, because that's downtime. That's time when you're not putting pressure. That's not time when you're not distracting and harassing the enemy team and forcing cooldowns. You should be the one tanking, you guys remember that phrase, as Tracer as often as you possibly can, because that's what your hero is good at. It has the mobility and survivability to draw attention from the enemy team. And then you can play with your team, play safe, wait for your recall, and then go in. And then one of the things that he said that I really liked was about how it's a jab versus cross play style, where you jab a lot, you put out a lot of distraction, pressure. When you have recall, you can go in for a hard haymaker, a hard finish the kill. Once the recall gets forced, you go back to playing cautiously, like right here with SVB. We've just forced the recall, now you play a little bit more cautiously. Now, where I differed in opinion is I historically was not as big of a fan as forcing uptime at the expense of taking good off angles. I was always more of the time that I would rather you take a better angle to better harass and let your tank or some other units start to draw the attention most of the time first, and then harass and follow up off of that. And there are certain times, especially when that's important, whenever the enemy team has range pressure. Anything like a Cassidy, Ana, Zen, Widowmaker, Hanzo, Torbjorn, anything that can shoot you and punch you out of pressure, shoot your head basically. And after thinking a lot about it and talking with Shax extensively about it, I think I'm right. I think that's where we're going to have to agree to disagree, because the problem, if you watch this VOD through, you're going to notice something. When you force uptime at the expense of a good off angle, you are relying on, number one, either the enemy team not having any sort of range threat that can just shoot you in the head, just because you're not taking an off angle, you're not flanking, you're not hiding, or number two, you're relying on the fact of your movement or mechanics to be just better. And I think if you don't have to take my word for it, I encourage you to watch this VOD, because regardless, you're going to learn something from this VOD. You're going to notice that SVB is just better. He's just better. Now, a lot of it is like, well, yeah, he was following Awkward's philosophy and doing a good job, putting out a lot of pressure, sure, but he just wasn't getting shot. He wasn't getting slapped. He was standing in front of the enemy team, taking off angles again, and just totally disrespecting timing, but not getting punished for it. And the reason why that doesn't work is because that only assumes, again, that either you have much better movement mechanics than they do, or you are playing versus a composition that doesn't have any range threat. And that's why it works. And the reason why Awkward coaches this is not even because it's better with Tracer, but there's a little bit of bias there where it lines up more with his philosophy of like limit testing and pressuring, but it's not something that you should be doing with to the level that he's saying here. It's not the best way of playing Tracer. And there's a hard ceiling with how it can be done, because I promise you, if Awkward did this at a rank to where he actually belongs, it wouldn't work. And this is like, you could say, oh, it only works because he has great mechanics. That's not always true. That's not always true, but sometimes it is. I would not say he wasn't playing incorrectly. See, that's the thing with Awkward's advice. It's not wrong. It's good advice. It's just not optimal. Awkward's advice very rarely is optimal. I think Ana is, if anything, closer to being optimal. I don't agree with his like the way that he approaches cooldown sometimes, but I think his Ana is closer to optimal. But his Kiriko and Tracer, you guys remember my Kiriko review, right? The question, his Kiriko coaching is not the optimal way to play Kiriko. It's just not. And the same is true for Tracer. However, it is a good play style. It's just not anywhere close to optimal. And the thing with Awkward's coaching is not only is it effective, but oftentimes, like, let's put it this way. Let's say that you have somebody that's obsessing with taking the perfect flank and like hiding and hiding and hiding. Like, I have worked with players who've had great timing, but took way too long. Well, actually, that's not true. That had bad timing because they were too conservative, right? So Awkward could be the exact coach that a lot of players need to hear. And one of the things that he says is, in his experience, the most common mistake is uptime on Tracer. Now, I don't know, honestly, I don't really know if that's the case or not. I haven't really paid attention enough to my sessions, but I mean, there's logic there too. The reason why I'm saying this, though, is that I think you need to be, his advice is good, but it's first off not always applicable to everybody, and it is not the end-all be-all to Tracer or Kiriko. It is a step in the right direction. It is a good general idea to be putting up pressure as much as you possibly can, but when he says things like starting from main and taking an off angle later, you should always be focusing your uptime, that is not correct. A lot of that does depend on the enemy comp, and it depends on how much better you are than the enemy team. Right, exactly, Gagor. You was not enough downtime. If you took more downtime on ball, you actually increased your uptime because you were more intelligent about how you engaged. So the things that he's talking about, which is like pressure and uptime and taking off angles, he's right in all of them. But the way that he does it, it's not always. The way that I coach, for better or worse, is I will say, this is what is optimal. This is what you're doing. Let's do a abbreviated, watered down version of what's optimal. Let's get you to the optimal thing. Not perfectly. We don't need to be perfect, but get one step closer. What Awkward does is he says, okay, that's too much, right? We're going to find an offshoot that's a little bit easier to understand and a little bit easier to just memorize and just do, even if it doesn't always work, even if it's not going to end up at being optimal, and just get you there right now and just do this. Awkward's coaching is very it's something that you could write on a plaque and put on a wall, right? Damage is a classic example. It's not that simple, but it's a very abbreviated, quick Spark Notes way of looking at it, right? And the reason why that works is because that's what a lot of people need, right? And that's something that I'm always challenging to work with is trying to not overcomplicate the issue, right? And that's something that Awkward is really good at. He's really good at just boiling it down to its basics, but my problem is that it's not always a real fundamental understanding of it. It's an offshoot, but it's not 100% accurate. I wouldn't even say it works 60% of the time. It's just not perfect like that. So I guess that was something that a lot of people have been asking about. I kind of wanted to talk about, and it applies to his Kiriko coaching as well. Like, I mean, it's a very simple way of playing Kiriko, but it's not 100% accurate, right? It's going to build, like, let's put it this way. Awkward's coaching will make you a better Tracer player, but will also build bad habits at a high level. Now, that not be a big of an issue. It's going to make you a better player, but if you're aiming to be a consistent Grandmaster player, or you want a higher understanding of the game, there's going to be flaws in there. And what Awkward will reach students that I will not be able to reach to because people think my fundamentals are boring. And I will reach people that Awkward can't because they think he's too gimmicky. But if you push the payload, you're the worst player in the team, right? I mean, that's classic Awkward right there, right? Awkward's right. Too many people push payload. You need to get off the payload if you can. Find pressure. But it's always like a little bit of a caricature, right? He especially does this on Twitter. He doesn't do it as much in his coaching, where it's a little bit of a caricature, right? It's like, if you're telling me that you should be playing, you shouldn't be setting up off angles and flanks, and you're not going to talk at all about like the enemy range threat, I think your coaching's missing out. There were even a couple times where SVB was like, "Oh, I went a little bit too early," and Awkward was like, "No, you're good. Just keep shooting, recall." And it's like that. Those are the times where I really deviated from his coaching style. Is it better to have consistent coaching that work for all players, like talking about fundamentals and things about I don't know. I would say the first point, because to me, I would rather reach fewer players, but actually be the end-all be-all solution for those players. I do put up more casual content occasionally, right? Because I like to hook people in that might not realize that they enjoy the fundamentals until they've been exposed to it, right? But I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, I don't have it in me, I would rather really help coach a few players to understand the game. By the way, where are we at in terms of the over what? Wait, it's over? It's over. Oh. Okay, well, it's fine. We're talking about stuff anyway. Then to be like a little bit of a tip for everybody, you know what I'm saying? And it really isn't possible to reach all positions. I mean, I still have people that say that I yell too much. And I'm like, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? Do you want a kiss on the lips? Like, it's like, so it's like, there's a certain point. It's like some people just aren't going to be reaching me. I mean, I had a comment the other day. I mean, I did the DPS micro tip video, and that one, people were like, well, this is actually not that a micro tip. Or like, I don't even know what they're talking about. No. And some people were like, oh, the humor was funny. Some people were, I had a comment that was like, oh, the humor is really not funny at all. You should just stick to the professional stuff. And I'm like, you can't please everybody. The content's a little bit worse than coaching for sure, but yeah. Definitely wouldn't mind. That's true. The other thing too is it's not just people respond to different types of coaching. I mean, it's also like, I'm in a couple of videos on this that a lot of people just don't really want to get better. They just really don't want to get better. They just want a couple of like juicy tips and tricks, and then it is what it is. You hated it? Yeah, well, I don't. That's the most sincere compliment I've ever received. You hate it, then I'm good. My enemy is my friend. Why is Torb daddy? I don't know. Just seemed like a good thing at the time. But yeah, anyway, long story short, if you do play Tracer, I do highly recommend checking out this video, because there are things to learn from this, and it's gonna do what it did to me. It's gonna challenge maybe if you guys are your little Spylo disciples out there, it's gonna challenge the way that you think about Tracer. I think that's good. Being forced to defend the way that you think about the game. The fact that I had to go running, screaming to Shax and talk with Shax for a while was definitely helpful. Just knocked out my earbuds. Hey, Cager. Yeah, the micro tip video, my one problem with the micro tip videos is I can't help inserting my own philosophy into it, where I'll include tips that aren't necessarily like super secret unknown tips, just because it's like the Basher and Trick and Discipline one. It's like, people need to hear this. Every now and then, like I need to get that said, even if it's not like the best micro tip ever, it's because people need to hear that, Yes, Insu, yes. Usually the way that I coach is about the same for the person, like the Socratic method, right? It's pretty much the asking questions, fundamentals. It's pretty much always the same for the person. The reason I have a lot of discussion leading up to that point is more for finding out what they need to work on outside of the game, but more for what my demeanor needs to be, if that makes any sense. Is it more edgy? Is it more light? Is it more slow and simple? Like, I think it's more about like how I communicate more than how I coach, if that makes any sense. I guess that is how you communicate, how you coach, but if that makes any sense. No, one was a glue sniffer, one was a glue eater. Would I consider doing this kind of content with SVB? Of course. I mean, I could coach SVB on any hero, probably as high to a level as he's been coached here, if not higher on every hero. The problem is that, as you guys can see, Awkward, Jake, like he also, as a content creator, has to consider what names are going to draw the biggest attention. And while I'm growing, you know, I'm not these guys, you know. So thoughts on backbone support play? I haven't watched this much, but I know how good of a support. I think it's fine. He has like the killer instinct that a lot of support players need. Sniffer? Oh yeah. Shut up, Gregor. This guy is so stupid. Ugh. He was so impressive. I watched a little bit of it. Before I had to coach. So, anyway. You guys want to watch these Dallas Fuel POVs? I kind of want to do both. Even the Moira one will be fun. I know you guys are like Moira, but you have never seen me coach Moira. I'll hold your hand, don't worry. Don't worry, I got y'all's back. Yeah, let's do this. So we had a lot of fun with the last two. And it was kind of fun with the last two because the Bliss one was, no offense, it was like, I mean, it was obviously good play. It just was like definitely not Chio, you know what I'm saying? And he's not the best loose. And the team play was also a little bit disturbing. But Hanbin was really quite good. Hanbin was really, really quite good. He still got it, you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of fun. You say that like you're not older than Spyla? Maybe you are. Civ. What's the one thing I could do to better my coaching? I don't know, mate. Record yourself and listen back to yourself coaching. Then tell me what's the one thing. 29? Ah, yeah, you're older than me. Okay, let's take a look at this Edison stuff. Fled a tank, gone too soon. So the reason he's playing Hanzo is because Sombra Tracer. You know, he wants to play ranged threat. When you're looking at the comp that Dallas is playing, they don't want to mirror on dive. They want to put Hanbin on Diva. They want to be able to mark their DPS, and they want to put Edison on a hit scan. Now, Widowmaker too greedy. Hanzo a little bit more options versus some of these dive threats. And this map provides good, nice, juicy sightlines here. So he's got a Sonic here, not just for Tracer, maybe a little bit, mostly for Sombra. He hears Sombra, so he walks forward. If he doesn't hear Sombra, he doesn't walk forward. That's one of the things that you have to do. You have to listen. Okay, they've just used jump. They've used bubble. I hear Sombra. I hear Tracer. That means that I can walk forward and take a more aggressive angle. I like Dallas's comp more on this map for Dallas as a team. If this was Atlanta, you know Atlanta would be doing well with this comp. Nice long sightline. Doesn't have information on Sombra or Tracer. He needs to re-engage. Notice that he rotated. Why did he rotate to a worse sightline, chat? Why did he rotate from here to over on the right? Why? Because he has a good angle here, right? Why did he rotate away? You guys tell me. Widow's just too weak versus Sombra. That's the problem. Ooh, nice shot. DPS, right. Sombra is unknown. We don't know where Sombra is. Winston is staged. I don't know where Sombra is. So he can't stay. He jukes the dive. He makes the dive harder to predict, and he has more cover. Nice shot. Storm Arrow is there. The peel is not. I don't know where his Brig is, but I would have loved to have seen Brig playing with him here. Yeah, Bliss is on cart. This is a mistake from Bliss. Diva's on cart. Bliss should be controlling high ground with his DPS or pushing out and spy checking. So even when we're not reviewing Bliss, we're making fun of Bliss. So all that being said, and freaking Edison still dies. Forces her out. Storm Arrow from the induction bow, and he does that because it's an animation cancel. So if he hits the body shot with his normal shot, the next Storm Arrow shot will either be a headshot and a kill off of the body shot, or it will be a body shot and force a translocator immediately. And then even if he misses the induction shot, he's able to quickly induct the next couple of arrows afterwards. Viper Tracer really strong. That's what I've heard. I've heard Viper and Iris are the best 2 players in Shanghai. Nice shot. Now Tracer down. A little bit more greed. He has eyes on Sombra as well, which means he can take a more aggressive angle. Or at least he did have eyes on Sombra. There's eyes on Sombra again, so now more aggression. He still needs to be careful about playing too close because the ult's online as well as the Ana nade that might be coming out. But yeah, now it's just playing Kovacs. Why is Flood on tank? You really are new here, aren't you? He doesn't know, Chad. He doesn't know. The animation cancel is everything with Hanzo. It's easily the most common tech with Hanzo. Something everybody should know and be doing. Induction shot and a Storm Arrow. So Sonic here is okay, but I'm actually not as much of a fan here. So you guys tell me, where are the 3 spots? Where's the 1 spot that you would Sonic here? So we could Sonic for backline here. I would prefer Sonic actually either here, here, or even on this window here for more information. Top right I'm not as concerned about because my Diva's spy checking there. She's the big body. She's going to scout for me. So I like the angle here from Edison, but he's going to have to back up because he doesn't have enough information on this side of the map. As well as the Winston's now too close. So he's going to back off. Now, Dragon, generally just there's the Dragon, the Sonic that we wanted to see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh! Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about Dragon, okay? A lot of the times, Dragon is just used. Just used, okay? In these situations. There's not a lot of thought put into it. Now, I'm going to pick on that just a little bit. I think that it's understandable. It's the weakest ultimate in the game, especially in this matchup. It's terrible. However, using a Dragon now makes no sense. You guys tell me why. Why does it make no sense? Am I using an illegal streaming device right now, Spylo? I listen, guys. I'm not saying a thing. Right, because who am I zoning with? Right, we have no information on backline whatsoever. Forcing Ana Brig to move around or rotate, that's value, you know? It's probably about the best value that you're going to get out of this ultimate, but you don't even know where the Ana Brig are. And then on hindsight, we can actually see that Ana Brig are on the high ground. They're not even on the floor. So, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, they're up here, okay? Crazy. Even with the replay viewer, we can't see what's going on. This isn't the replay viewer, by the way. That's a YouTube video. In addition, the other problem is that we've just heard Nano Winston. So what is Edison's priority, ladies and gentlemen? 2 things. 2 things that Edison needs to be thinking about. Sean Miller, it's happening again! Live, right. So he needs to worry about lunge, and he needs to worry about storm arrowing Winston Bubble. Because if he storm arrows Winston Bubble, faster bubble break means faster whip shot or faster sleep dart, so then less damage from the Nano Winston. So here he's unable to actually dodge the dive because he's dragoning. You see that? So not a good dragon from Edison. That Sonic as well, kind of unnecessary. Understandable, not the end of the world, but not totally necessary. No Winston, full scouting information, we press W. You can notice how sometimes Edison's pressing W into divers, sometimes he's not. A lot of it's based off of information and obviously main advantage. Good shot. It's actually impressive how many like picks he's getting this fight. Yeah, I was gonna say this is really good. I mean they clearly picked this map for a reason. Probably a bit of one of his best pop-off matches, but yeah. So probably Sonic on left door here. Yeah, just to make sure nobody's touching, and then we're good to go. Then we'll probably see Sonic. Wow. Whoa. No way. No way! Is this the first time in Overwatch League that this has happened? I've never seen this before in Overwatch League. It's like one of those niches that he gets the rebound on the Storm Arrow off the door. Double headshot and a Tracer. I've never seen that before in an Overwatch League game. Okay, yeah, so talking about Sonic here. So probably Sonic the top so that he knows whether he can safely rotate and then take this position. He will want to take this position eventually, but probably not right away. Yeah, same, because it's like one of the weirdest changes I've ever seen. It's like, oh, well, I guess you could technically do that. So yeah, he messes up the Sonic arrow. He actually hits the corner instead of the high ground. That's kind of funny. Sonic's top. He doesn't have information on Sombra, so he needs to be careful. The Sonic on top is still fine, though, because he... There's Sombra. Here's Nade. Now we can rotate top. There's Bubble. He could rotate top if he wants. He might not need to, but he can if he wants to. He's gonna try to. Okay, there we go. Now, Sonic there is a little weird. Would have preferred a Sonic on this corner right here to line up shots. You can also even Sonic behind you on the staircase to give information on Sombra, or do the same thing here for the same reason. Telling you that Tracer's on card is not exactly news. That Sonic would have been useful. See? I told you! I told you! Or using it on the top to control the Ana so you don't have to worry about Nade. Oh, you just always forget? Yeah. Same. Alright. They're on Widow now. More open map. Or more open sightline. Sonic's it's more of a prediction. He expects the Widow to be besides Mega. Nah. Fleta is holding close. This Dragon is intended to get Fleta to jump back to high ground. But ladies and gentlemen, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. It's not worth it. Fleta just jumps and that's it. Using Dragon here to actually force him off of high would have been really, really valuable. Right, exactly. Once he's rotated here to Dragon high ground, that would have been good. Force the Ana to drop. You don't gotta worry about anti-nade in this door frame anymore. Right? Yes. The Dragon high ground would have been infinitely more valuable. So Sonic also messes up there, hits the floor instead. Even the best happens. Sonic on the Winston forces Bubble, he's out. I was gonna say Widow we know is back there, so next Sonic is going that direction. He hits it, there we go. Shortens the sightline. Woo, got a little bit tunneled there. Oh, I don't love that. I would have liked it better if after this, if he had wall climbed up to the right here, right on this, right here, and gone up that way. Instead of peeking the Widow like this. This is way too scary. He should probably have died here. Yeah, this is not going well for Mr. Edison. Good rally, and Sonic as well, very strange. One of the best habits that you could break as Sonic, as a Hanzo player, is to stop Sonicking just because you have it. Just don't do it. It's just not worth it. Hey, what's up, Necros? It's just not worth it. It is worth it to stop what you're doing, walk into mini, and peek or just Sonic on main for that Widowmaker. Stop going so fast to Sonic. Slow down. Yes. Right now, this Sonic would be really helpful if you don't have it. Yeah, not great positioning or cooldown usage from Edison that fight. Sombra, do we have any Hanzo? Is it just Sombra? Yeah, just Sombra. So a couple things with Edison. Storm Arrow usage was good. Dragons were questionable. Needed to kind of take his time to scout backline to force him to rotate a little bit more. Sonic arrows for the most part were good. Mid fight kind of panicking him a little bit. Positioning for the most part was okay. Needed some work, but honestly not too bad. Sombra time. He's going Sombra because he's on Widow. So he's going to try and stage on the enemy Widow. There she is. There's the ping. He might even try to C9 cart here. Nope. He's going to go for Widow. He's expecting Widow to rotate, is what he's doing. Uh-oh. That's not good. Ooh. So... Oh, Viper just doesn't see him. Oh, that's scary. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I think knowing Infocytes there, needed to play your life a little bit more carefully. Infocytes is actually... There's nowhere for Sombra to escape with Infocytes at this point. There's nowhere that a Tracer can't push you. Isu goes Sombra. So now there's a little bit more flexibility with how you can play. Let's see what Edison decides to do. He's pinging backline here. What's probably he's looking to do is they're looking to nano engage with Winston. So what Edison's going to try to do is try to set up a hack on Gangnam Gym so they can one-shot Gangnam Gym before he can rally. And also to make sure that there's no whip shot off of the nano Winston dive. Maybe they look for an engage on Ana. They're going to look for a one-shot. Yeah, they're going to look for a one-shot on Ana. They don't get it. Not quite there. Get the kill. Wow. EMP goes for the flanker. Good. Zones the flankers while they finish off Fleta. He's going to have to leave cart relatively soon. He will be able to... There it is. Oh, his Translocator's... Wait. No way his Translocator's in his own spawn. I skipped this part.
Was good.
Now, they're on Sombra Tracer. So he has to be a little bit more careful where he places Translocator. But anywhere around here would have been okay. Or like throwing it anywhere in that vicinity would have been okay. But this is really over the top. Yeah, he is out of that fight for an eternity. And that's it right there. Okay, let's skip to some defense here. Gonna be a lot of scouting, pinging. He's looking for that second DPS is what he's looking for. Because they don't know if it's Sombra, they don't know if it's a Widow in spawn. Can SMG, farm some ult charge. There's Nade as well. Replaces Translocator. Re-stealth. He could probably hack the Mega, maybe? I'm surprised he doesn't hack the Mega, but okay. That Mega is pretty decent. Okay, now they know they're on Sombra, so we're going to try to control this right flank here. We're looking for a dive on Ana. Their tank is close. Maybe they look for a hack on Tracer. A little bit forced out. I don't love what's happening here. I think a little bit more of like, here's what I don't love. Okay, I think a lot of Sombras, when they have like map control in the mirror, spend a little bit too much time looking for like hack cheese plays like that are kind of too far away. I feel like Lip here would be more Sombra 76. I really do. I feel like Lip would take a high ground angle here, or maybe even a high ground angle here, reacting to hack, and just farm EMP. Just take an angle and shoot. When the cart gets to about here, we'd probably see him looking for a stage on backline. But I don't think that's necessary just yet, because I think the backline's too far. I think that's something we would have seen. This staging is not good. But when you have an excellent backline LOS, and you have the off-angle control there, I'm also wondering why he got his Translocator Force there, like where were his supports? Did you really kind of want to be leveraging this on the 76 more? Like what he's doing right now is good. We want this. You have the better position? Leverage it. Look for hacks mid-fight if you want to, but just leverage it, right? He should be at least 10-15% higher on ult charge here. I don't even know why he translocated out there. EMP's good. Follow up from Hanbin is good. Forces out. He needs to grab Mega. He hacks it as well. Surprised he goes for the Tracer there. Would have gone for the Winston. They get the Winston. Yeah, I mean, just a little bit of Sombra 76. You guys saw how he immediately passed Hisu on ult charge. Because he's got the better off angle, right? Like, he's got the better position. His supports can see him easier. Now he's doing the lip. He doesn't have EMP. Hisu does. Let's hunt Translocator. This is smart. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Catches the brig along the way. Probably it's somewhere on our right, towards the other Mega. Would be my best guess. There's also a chance Hisu could have set up and spawned, but I don't think that's 100% likely. I think it's the right play for the circumstance, though, for sure. Especially because you're on D.Va. A lot of D.Va encourages more frontline playstyle, less going for backline because you don't have the dive tank going in, which makes the hacking on the Tracer on first fight even weirder, because you didn't have a Winston follow-up off of that. So why would you go for the hack? So you can go Sombra 76 playstyle here because he's close to EMP. Oh, nice dodge. That's a nice dodge right there. Like, look at this here. Watch it. Bam! Right there. Frame perfect. And I promise you, he would have died if he had not dodged this. He would have dodged this. He would have died. He was the target there. It was not Hanbin. Good. Just shoot. EMP point. Probably focus the, honestly, could focus the monkey here. Oh, they went for the Tracer, but she recalled. That's unfortunate. A little bit of a meme EMP here. He goes to the Tracer, misses it. Ends up being a one-man EMP. Chase the brig. Keep shooting. Another nano onto D.Va. They're going to trade backlines. Again, I don't know why he gets his Translocator forced. He's 147 HP. He's got a Tracer on him, but he could greed that a little bit longer. So, I don't want him walking inside a bubble. Do not. That was something that Sugar Free was doing as well when we were reviewing Team USA. He needs to grab Mega. Actually, he gets healing from his team and spawn. That's good. Yeah, reaction time was really nice. That was a huge play. That's a first point holder. Just SMG. Again, I don't know why he's translocating out so quickly. He's getting actively healed as we speak. He can greed this a little bit more. There's not a ton of burst damage here. The Ana is honestly the biggest burst damage that there is in this comp. Translocator's lost. He needs to get pocket. He might die. No, he gets peeled. We're good. Throw your Translocator. There it is. Okay. Shoot. There's EMP. He's not able to dodge that time. It's okay. Translocator. Back out. Just shoot. I would prefer a little bit more distance. You see, this is something. I guess he's worrying about touch. There's a little bit of a miscommunication about touch, though. He should have trusted Hanbin. That would have allowed him to stay in a little bit longer. They get the kill on Fleta. They lose his Translocator. Doesn't matter. Brig will die. Nice heat impulse. I just love the fact that I'm like not even paying attention, but I know that Hanbin's popping off. Okay. Maybe Felly wouldn't get health for recontest if he didn't leave early. Yeah, I don't think that's the play. So, decent. Sombra was okay. Hanzo was okay. Nothing spectacular in either one. Some really nice shots on Hanzo. Sombra, I think he was reading the room in terms of Translocator placement a couple of times wrong, the playstyle wrong. The thing with Sombra is it's usually, very rarely is it any one thing that's preventing somebody from being a quote-unquote lip, but it's usually a collection of things, right? Translocator was not reset properly. Went for the wrong play for the composition and for the circumstance that he was in. Getting his Translocator force a little bit too early, walking into a bubble unnecessarily, maybe going for a hack that didn't make a lot of sense. Just a little tiny details, not being able to find Translocator fast enough. Those little tiny details. What are Edison's best heroes? Reaper is generally considered Edison's best hero. But outside of that, he's more of a flex hit scan. In other words, he is not a raw hit scan. He's okay on flankers. He's okay on raw hit scan. Honestly, his Ashe last season was a big surprise. His Ashe was phenomenal last season, but yeah. Edison is an odd one. He's an odd one. He has been the knight in shining armor when Dallas has needed him. He performed pretty well in Sojourn at the end of last stage. He's performed really well in Reaper metas when they've needed him. But he's an odd one. He is never be considered one of the best DPS in the world, but he's performed when Dallas has needed them at crucial moments. So I think that's give credit where credit is due. Hanman's best heroes? I don't know. Junker Queen, he's considered the world's best, or was considered the world's best Junker Queen. But I think his diva is also really, really phenomenal. I think his Zarya is also really quite good too. He's just a phenomenal off-tank player, really. I don't know how good his Sigma is, but I assume it's really quite good too. Certainly Junker Queen, diva, and Zarya. He's S tier, or at least an A+ tier. Okay, solid. Now, I'm assuming that means that MCD's Moira will be solid, because the last review, I think Edison did a little bit better than Bliss. And then Hanman did amazing, so that means we'll have 2 decent reviews, you know, instead of 1 bad, 1 good. Oh, I guess before we move on, do you guys have any questions here? Because we're about to get to the juice. Yeah, what I'm about to get to the juicer hero. The Sig is cracked. All right, well then the guy doesn't have a weakness. I think Hanbin is easily Dallas's best player. Fargo's a great player too, but I mean, Hanbin's just amazing. Hey Barry, would I be able to ask a question? Drop it in Ask Spilo. You don't mind, unless it's about like what we're watching. Or to stick with what we're watching here. So, Moira Reaper. I'm not going to go in detail about this composition. I've made a couple of YouTube videos on Moira. You guys can check those out if you want to, on the Reaper the recent stuff. Basically, Moira has increased sustain. In Discord. Yes, sorry about that. Yes, in Discord. !Discord. Moira has better increased sustain, okay, than she used to in the past. So for Dallas, who especially a team that has always preferred Lucio's speed composition, having a composition that can group up and run it down mid. Now, off angles matter some to an extent. Soft off angles matter, but really this composition is designed to focus down, speed onto a target, force a cooldown, and then move on to the next target. Force a May block, force a Nemesis Swarm quickly. Force a Reaper Wraith, which we're about to see, I think, a Reaper Mirror from both teams. We might see another DPS. This might be a Sojourn, actually. I would be surprised if they stayed on Ana, because I think an Ana is a target that you can run down on relatively easy. So, let's see. Moira's job in this composition is just to keep everybody healthy, to not run out of healing juice, and to not die. That's pretty much it. We'll get to there's a lot of detail. Okay, actually go Hanzo instead of Sojourn, okay? So, Fuel's comp, looking to rotate aggressively onto this target, or this target, and to try to avoid, or if you take a tank trade, avoid playing within the Hanzo and Ana sightlines, because those heroes do a lot of damage at range, and this is a very ranged map. So let's see what kind of a rotation Dallas does. Do they just walk in? Not a great damage orb. You've got 2 options with damage orb. You need to be using it like sooner than this here. So let's talk about the micro of Moira. Now, you guys have never heard me coach Moira. A lot of you guys haven't, so you don't understand the level of nuance that this hero has. In fact, I have a really cool Moira collab lined up soon. First things first, damage orb needs to be now. As soon as we start spraying, and as soon as this brawl starts to happen, use the damage orb. It is general pressure on squishies. It's tickle. It's almost negligent, but it's something. It's ult charge, so the sooner you use it, the sooner you get it back. And the other thing is, too, is you notice how we're losing healing resource. Ladies and gentlemen, damage orb replenishes your healing resources now, and it's by a pretty significant amount. So right now, instead of waiting for us to lose resource first, we should have immediately damaged orb as soon as the fight has actually started. So that we would be regenerating our healing resources as we're using it. So this damage orb is late. It obviously gets blocked by Mei Wall, which is a bit unlucky. However, that is a red flag that we were using it too late anyway. It does. Yes, it does. It regenerates our healing resources. It's one of the 2 reasons why, actually 3 reasons why you're seeing more Moira right now. The other one is that the heal over time lasts longer than it used to, so you can spray somebody and it ticks for an extra second. In addition, the fade during Cole is a huge one too. Yep. So, you don't need to heal orb in this composition generally, because the way that these comps work is generally your tank doesn't get bursted too much. So Hanman is probably okay. You don't really need to save heal orb. By the time that he might need a heal orb like now, we should already have it again, right? If we'd actually used it sooner. So using a damage orb at the start of the fight is fine. Our ultimate heals now too? I get it. Okay, so first things first, damage orb is slow. Healing here is fine. Too much healing though. Too much healing. We're still healing. We're too much healing. You see that? Heal orb there is fine. But now we're out of resource. It's little things with Moira. A little bit too much healing onto a wall, right? Like, come on, wake up. A little bit too slow in the damage orb. If we were better with either of those things, we were at this much resource right now instead of this much resource right now. And then our priority now needs to be not using our heal spray at all. Let it regenerate. You could puff here. He should puff here. One puff will stop your heal resource, but it'll allow the HOT to work on chip damage like this. Like right now, he should be puffing. And he should be what, chat? What should he be using literally right now? Obviously. Puff. And as everyone's frantically typing, I'm sure all 17,000 of you. Damage orb, exactly. Damage orb. The fight started. Damage orb on Alhanzo. Get this guy down to like here, right? Just a little chunk of damage and get that resource back up to here. It's too slow. It's just a little too slow, but it's still too slow. Hermigan, thank you for the sub, mate. I appreciate it. Not bad. It's just Moira's all about doing the tiny little things, right? Watch the resource. Tick, 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 tick. You guys see it? Notice he's trying to right-click a squishy. That's good. Now, this is no bueno. What should be thrown here? Do you guys see it? Watch carefully. Right here. Damage orb. Right here. Right at this Hanzo and Ramatra. It hits the Ramatra, it might hit the mate, and it hits the Hanzo. So you're going to hit 1, 2, 3 targets, so you're going to get some good offensive pressure. Right? And it's going to regenerate more healing resource. The irony now is that Heal Orb is way more reactively used than it was ever used before. In old Moira, you might want to Heal Orb here because you're kind of low in resource and you're going to get a nice balance and just like walk with it, right? So you didn't have to use it. But the irony here is in a lot of ways, Damage Orb actually gives you more, saves you more healing resource than Heal Orb does. You guys hear me? Usually that's often, unless you're critical or somebody's critical, it's often the case. So right now, the lack of damage orb there is a huge mistake. Good focus on the Mei. Puff. Then back to right click. Find a target to right click. He needs to get out. He rotates around. Back to right click. Damage orb there is fine. Build up a little bit of resource. Puff. 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 Right click. Right click. Right click. Right click. Right click. Right click. Puff. Heal orb. Heal orb because he doesn't want to use he doesn't want him to use ice block. I probably think he could have gotten away without using that, to be fair. And then Cole, focus the squishy. Somebody's on the flank. Yep, there it is. So I will give a C plus B so far. Damage orbs have been too slow. A little bit not great resource management. Heal orb instead of a damage orb when a damage orb would have made more sense. I would have done a heal orb, right. This is lazy. This is lazy. This is inexcusable. So he's trying to get a bounce, but the bounce is bad. You need the ult charge from this. Like, they already have support ult, so there's no point, no reason not to feed them more support ult charge. And again, remember, we're going to be spraying now. We need that resource trade. We would be almost full now if we'd actually just peeked and thrown the damage orb. I understand there's a Hanzo in the field, but you need to hit the damage orb here. Heal. And the other thing with Moira too is he needs to be more responsive. Like right here, for example, there's no reason to really right-click a Ramatra shield at all. There's no reason whatsoever in this composition. You're never gonna break it. So what is better to do is to be like looking for little angles around Ramatra shield to get right-clicks, or be standing there, don't doing anything. Puff. Puff, so he can react. Because he's focused on right-clicking here, he's late on left-clicking Sparkle. Which means then when he heals Sparkle, it's too late, and Sparkle gets a little bit low, right? Sparkle is still not fully healed. Sparkle should be fully healed here, right? Does healing still go through shields? Heal orb does. Healing spray does not. No. What do you guys think about this damage orb? What do you guys think about that damage orb? Forces on an off angle. Mid, it does push a dude out. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's mid. It's understandable. Something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind. I think the idea is fine. It's just a little bit unfortunate that at that same point in time, Edison is also peaking. So it's actually, in hindsight, unnecessary. But the principle is fine. The principle is fine. The challenge is going, okay, is it better to get a guaranteed full suck damage orb on main? Or is it better to use maybe half of an orb, because only half of it's going to actually get the suck, to force out an off angle? And the answer is it depends. If somebody's already clearing out the off angle, probably better to just throw the orb down mid. If there's nobody clearing out that angle, the damage orb is really, really good at that. It's worth it. Just even to force the Hanzo out of the off angle, that's a lot less pressure. That's downtime for the Hanzo, and it's probably worth the 8-second cooldown. Oh, that's unfortunate. A bit of a miscommunication there. I don't know that if he knew that beat was coming, and then at least there's some confusion. Don't right click. Don't right click. I was gonna say just full heal, full heal, full heal, full heal, full heal, full heal, full heal. And this is why like it's so important to have full healing resource. Another thing that he can do here is a little micro detail. Is what's the problem? What's the problem here with this fade? Can you guys tell me? Micro detail. Yes, yes. He should be baiting. He should be walking forward just a tiny bit more and then fade backward. Or walk back, fade forward, because there's cover over here too. Just a small thing, but it's something worth doing. He kind of stands there and then just fades, right? You need to bait a little bit more than fade. Yeah. Naded, so he needs to stop healing. There he goes. Back to healing again. Don't need to do anything crazy there. Heal orb here is fine because the heal orb is selfish. It's for his HP, not for his tank's HP. So heal orb here is understandable because he's low in resource. So therefore he should damage orb, right? Well, he's on 83 HP. So damage orb doesn't heal you. So it's understandable. He needs to be right clicking here though. Yes, 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 yes. The only thing here is he greets his HP just a little bit too much. Now the next orb that he should have should be, okay, so he's going to Coal early. It's a little bit unfortunate. He was so close to orb, but it's probably, the timing of that was probably more important than waiting for orb. This is inexcusable. This is inexcusable. When you damage orb out an off angle, you need to damage orb out the off angle. He's just throwing it. And again, not only is it a wasted cooldown in terms of clearing out an off angle, but it's missed healing resource. So now we have no regeneration of healing resources because the damage orb just completely missed. You cannot afford to miss a damage orb. You cannot afford to miss a damage orb. It is inexcusable. Even if it hits one person, that's a huge chunk of healing resources and value. Would it have won the fight? Probably not. No. But again, here, like, this is just inexcusable. Like, this is ult charge, right? Ult charge so that when you're poking and healing this guy down, you can actually heal. And instead, look at our damage orb goes right flying past. Yo, what's up, Rashi? Because look at this. Look how he should be here with healing resource, and he should be at like 31% ult charge, not 26. But the ult charge isn't free. Again, just inexcusable. Nothing's there. Two orbs used for 0 value. We should be at almost full resource right now. Use it. Use it. Use it. Fades for safety. Damage orb is perfect this time. And you can tell it's perfect because... Do you see the resource bouncing, right? It actually hit somebody. Hit somebody. Healing orb because he's low. You should not be right-clicking Ramatra, though. This is a team play mistake, because they're all going ram, 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 ram. He should be right-clicking who, chat? Whom should be right-clicking? Hey, Tabata. Who should be right-clicking here? Obviously, I mean, I keep asking questions that are pretty obvious to see here. Yeah, because there's nothing else on the screen. Yeah, May. Right-click May. Force out the off angle. Your damage is a lot more significant on a squishy. Right-click the May. He's gonna fade here soon. Oh, yeah, that fade was unnecessary. You need to be very attentive to your HP. He thinks that he needs to fade because he's thinking he's taking a lot of damage, but he has beat. He's fine. That fade is wasted. Heal orb. Why heal orb? Because Edison has no Wraith, and Edison is being focused. He probably needs all the support he can get. It didn't end up being needed, but in the point in time, it made sense. Damage orb. Yes. Too early. Way too early. He's reaching. Look at their positioning. Damage orb is fine here, but he needs to fade, walk forward to here, or just walk to point, and then force them to walk forward, then Cole. They're reaching. This is too easy to kite. Too easy to kite. Fade. Don't need to heal orb that. Good discipline there. Throw out that damage orb as soon as he gets an opportunity to. Doesn't need to. Find an angle. Find an angle. Use it. Right there. There it is. Unfortunate, but that one actually made sense. Oh, it actually gets some ticks. Look at that. Actually gets some ticks. But that one actually, like, legitimately made sense. Don't just spam it. Use it. Use it. Yes. There it is. Look at that resource. Look at that resource. 5, 6, 7% ult charge, too. Good try in the right click. Damage orb as well. Gets good value. Look at Aid's HP, right? Look at that. He's getting healed by his Ana, and he's still not full, right? Right click, right click, right. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, you can tell that the heat of the match is getting to him. Because this heal spray is out of range. Then he's going to be healing his Ram at this far away. When what should he be doing right now, chat? What should he be doing? Yes. Damage orb, right click the Ana. Now, that's going to do more pressure and take more heat off of his Ramatra than just healing alone would have done. Damage, 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 damage. It applies to Moira too. Yeah, see, don't even bother right-clicking shield. There you go, now we're good. I think that's it. Grimby! Okay, so what are you guys seeing so far? I'll give my thoughts here, but what are you guys seeing so far? What are the habits that MCD needs to grind on his Moira ult? Because I've got a couple of things that I'm seeing here. Poor orb usage, right? So I need the brain to be turned on with the damage orbs. I need faster efficiency with the damage orbs so we can preserve resources and really aiming the orbs. I cannot have orbs clanging off and off angles or nobody's there or hitting the wall and bouncing back. Unacceptable. Can't happen. All right. Don't sucking the shield. Right. It's been mostly orbs in terms of the damage orb spam. But then there's been a lot of little details about, you know, too much right click on a Ramatra shield. Maybe that's distracting him from doing other things. Maybe the coals were a little bit reach. Maybe not focusing on finishing an elimination when an opportunity presented itself. The fade bait, right? Yes. I think all of his coals are out of sync with his orbs. That's not necessarily a bad thing depending on the circumstance, especially in pro play. But yeah, let's check. Like, you can't do that, mate. You can't do that, mate. You can't do that, mate. No. Come on, mate. Like just as soon as they turn the corner, use it. As soon as they turn the corner. They're not gonna wall immediately, don't worry. Same thing here. Bam! Orb right there. Now this is better. Watch this. He's actually not right-clicking Ram Shield this time. You see that? Much better. However, I would prefer the damage. Well, you know, actually, it's tough. This one, there's a lot of AoE damage going on right now. So I don't necessarily have a problem with the heal orb, but I do think it's worth. This one feels like a 50-50 to me. There's an angle to DPS and damage orb on. Plus, there's a heal orb, and it looks like his team is actually rotating. So whenever you're rotating and you don't want to use your fade, you probably want to use your heal orb. So I actually don't have as much of a problem with this heal orb. It's an investment that ends up not really paying out because Ice Block gets forced anyway. But the theory behind it is okay. The theory is okay. You need to be careful about that Hanzo. Damage orb, damage orb, damage orb, damage orb. Yes, thank you. Little slow. But it's there. Because you guys see the problem here? This is Moira's like Mercy. You cannot make mistakes with your resource management, or you cannot miss orbs entirely. Right now, we should still be at full resource. Full resource. Heal orb here is whatever. Little too much spray here. Would prefer a little bit more right click. Damage orb is a little slow here as well. But looking at this in hindsight, right here, we should be at a little over half resource if we had done either of those two things together, just slightly better. It adds up. It adds up quickly. And I would also like to see a little bit more attention to shooting not Ramacha when we can. Like right here. Like you went really... Okay, there you go, there you go, there you go. Heal orb. Oh wow, he actually doesn't even use heal orb. So that was greedy, but he ended his fade in a good position, so he didn't have to use heal orb. That's a great damage orb. Pocket there's a little slow. Pocket there's a little slow. Oh, not quite. Okay. I think heal orb could have saved Sparkle's ice block. I don't think made me the ice block there. Yes, if that had been me on A, you know I wouldn't have ice blocked. I would have died. Inexcusable. Inexcusable. You just cannot be missing these. It's free resource that you need. You cannot, like, he just misses it. It bounces and it just misses. It goes into the void. It's inexcusable. Blind orbs indeed, yes. Now this is definitely one where I think he could have waited on the coal. I don't think there was any huge rush here. He's got 1 second left on orb. I would have waited for cold. I would have gone here, heal orb or damage orb, then cold. Ah, what's the problem here, chat? Hint, it's not the fade necessarily. It's not the fade necessarily. What's the problem? Target focus after fade. Right. Why are we focusing the Ram? Focus the Mei. And also, at the same time, he's got his back to the supports. He needs to be really careful. Damage orb. Yes. Look at that resource. Look at that resource. Oh, it doesn't go anywhere with the fade. He really needs to go somewhere with the fade. He needs to go this way, most likely. But he doesn't quite get enough momentum. Oh my days, it's so close. Heal orb for himself and for the Ram. Big burst. Nice job. I also think that he could have fade, if like in hindsight here, if we go back to the coal, the best fade spot would have been here, this direction instead. That way he could have caught his Mei and the enemy backline in the same coal. So his that fade to the left is the main problem. I would have gone this angle. But also at the same time, target priority. It's easy to suck tank. It's more effective to suck a DPS. Throw a damage orb. He desperately needs to be throwing out a damage orb right now. They have the BAP window already, and he needs to be regenerating resource. It is actually insanity to me that he's not like asking for an angle, either from his Ramatra or from using audio cues. Even a blind orb here would be better. Like there's so much downtime right now that he's not even using. And then he blind orbs once he actually knows the backline is here. Ah! No way, man. This resource is screwed. Did the absolute opposite of what he should have done. Oh, man. Alrighty. There we go. There you go. Doesn't work, but at least there's a chance, you know? And at that point in time, he needed it. This one he should have more information on. I don't think that damage orb is necessary, but he'll have resource, so it doesn't matter as much. Okay, next orb, I would not use. Now I would sit. Yeah, I would sit. I would sit on this orb. So the fight hasn't started yet, but it's about the fight to start, and he has no information. So this orb is bad. He needs to sit on it. Sit on it. Wait. Now damage orb. Then start healing. You see what I'm saying? But he messes up the timing. He needs to damage orb immediately right now. Immediately. A little bit late. But it doesn't matter. Like, his team is like absolutely butchering in terms of ult economy right now. I would damage orb once here just for a little bit of resource. Especially considering they're close holding. That one's fine. Look at that. Look at the resource. I'm gonna show you guys in practice range when this one is done. Because you're gonna be shocked at how much healing resource you get from this. Damage orb as soon as he sees where they're going. Yes, go now. Ah, man, these Coles are so bad. These Coles are really, really bad. Like, he is going so fast, basically leading the charge with these Coles. Just damage orb and wait. They have to walk forward. It's so easy to kite these Coles. Yeah. DPS Moira, let's go. Good. Good off angle. Yeah, okay, so big thing with MCD. Big thing with MCD. Wait. Surely, chat. Surely. Oh. Yeah, we're good. Good. Right click Lucio. Right click Lucio. Right click Lucio. Yes, good. Okay. Big things. Or no blind orbs. No more blind orbs. You gotta actually have a purpose with what you're doing. You're missing out on a lot of resource. The spray control was okay. Could have been better at times. And then the big one for me was just a little bit of the target priority, and the Coles were not well timed. A little bit too early. 1 second on orb, save it. They're a million miles away, save it. Make them walk to you, then Cole. Cole's very, very easy to kite if you don't do that. So, yeah, I mean, Dallas is clearly the better team here. Just ignoring all things, like they're just the better team. But MCD's Moira, shaky. And this is pretty standard because Moira is not a very popular hero for obvious reasons. But it's definitely a hero that you can be squeezing value out of. The big thing with Moira is to just not screw up. That's the most important thing you can do with Moira, is not feed. And I don't think MCD fed, right? That's the most important thing you can be doing. But there's lots of value that you can be getting out of Moira, little details that you can squeeze. Now, what you guys saw here is this is not exactly a Moira playstyle that you'll play a lot in ranked. Moira in ranked needs to kind of leverage her survivability a little bit more and look for more. But in terms of these brawl mirrors, it's a little bit more conservative. But yeah, I think it's nonetheless pretty interesting. Do you guys have any questions? I want to show you guys how much resource that you can get from a damage orb. I want to show you guys. Appreciate it, kitten. Moira's fun. Moira's fun. She's definitely, in my opinion, one of the worst designed heroes in the game. But there's a lot more nuance there than I think people. There's more nuance to every hero in Overwatch, and I do think that little things like the damage orb giving back resource, the extra heal spray, the being able to fade during Cole, all of those have been changes to make a hero stronger that probably doesn't deserve to be stronger, but they have added extra nuance to the hero, which has made it more enjoyable to talk about. Now let's talk about this damage orb here. I want you guys to see this. Watch this. Now, so keep in mind, some of this is just going to be the passive generation regardless. That wasn't even a full orb. Let me get a good bounce here. I think I can get a full spray off of these guys. Or almost a full one. Dang it. I want a full bounce. Maybe I'll just do one off of one target here. There you go. Check that out. It's like a quarter. Like a quarter of my resource bar, ignoring passive. Look at that. Go into the hallway? I mean, yeah, I could do that. And then if it's more targets, it regenerates faster. Oh man, hang on. Come on guys, we gotta let the stars align here. And look at that. Huge resource spray. Just spamming right click? Yes, it does. Ah, almost a quadruple kill. It does. So that's another little niche trick. At least it did in Overwatch 1. I assume it's still the case in Overwatch 2. We'll find out. Regenerating my resource bar. Regenerating my resource bar. Whoops, did not mean to do that. I have my scroll wheel bound, but watch this. Watch my resource meter. It's a little bit faster. Just a little bit faster. It's about 25% faster. Depending on how fast you can do it. I have it bound to my scroll wheel. I rarely use that. But if you bind it to your scroll wheel, then you could regenerate it by spamming it a little bit faster. People told me that was fake news. I tested it. It's real. But it's only a little bit faster. It's always only been a little bit faster, which is why it was like a really niche tip. It's like the initial burst, like you can look at my resource. When I first right-click, there's like a little burst. Do you see that? Burst, just like a little burst. And that's kind of what you're capitalizing off of by spamming right-click. Now, I'm actually curious, do you have to scroll wheel or just spamming right-click also? I mean, it definitely does still work, but is it worth it? It might still be worth it. It's okay. It's okay if it's on an easy-to-hit target, yeah. But keep that in mind, that is one of the downsides, is that because it's easier to hit, or harder to hit because you're spamming it, then you're going to be missing out on damage, right? Because it doesn't do, like, any damage, right? So, you know, it's not always something that you're going to want to be doing. World Cup stream just started. What are they doing? I thought it started at 5. Yeah, we got a little bit to go. I might only be doing a little bit anyway. Yeah, exactly. It's like a cost, it's a risk reward, you know, not risk reward, but just how much you have to count on. Yeah, okay. Let's see. You know what? Okay, let's do this. Let's clarify. Let's do 2 quick hammer times really fast. 2 quick hammer times really fast. One is going to be fun. One is going to just be a quick clarification. So somebody talked about how my combo from my tank micro tip videos and sent it to Jake Karu, who's a great Winston player for Great Britain.
This is what you guys are saying. You do the right click. Alright, so you see she went down to like a quarter of her HP. Okay, now if you full zap, she actually goes lower. She's a bit lower than a quarter. There's your proof. GG.
So people were being like, "Oh, you need to be using your right click on landing." No. You right click when you can do it at range, then you zap, then land. I said the order in the VOD, but in case it wasn't quite clear, because I think I said zap instead of mouse 1 or something like that, remember it's right click, melee, left click. That's what it is. Nice, yeah. So to show you, if you are close to a target, you do not right click. You do not. It reduces your DPS as well as being inconsistent and single target. So if let me change this up to an Ana. If this is an Ana, and I'm here, I don't go here. Like, no. If I'm this close to a target, I'm jumping, zapping. Much better. JK is way better than I am, but it doesn't matter. You use the right click when there's distance between yourself and the target. So you go right click, Bang, bang. I land onto the landing damage on the platform, but you get the idea. Only when there's distance and time for you to release the right click and for the left click to be able to like actually land. Like that. That's when you do it, all right? I don't think that was clear. Well, hopefully it's clear now. You don't right click when you're in point blank range. That's it right there. You guys see that? Look how much more damage that did. It's essentially a one-shot combo. Need to land these cleaner, but yeah. Okay, just making sure that that was clear. Okay, that was the boring one. The fun one is an r/Overwatch post, which we're gonna have to think long and hard about. Because this one was. I mean, it's just a fun one, you know. It was. Don't take it too seriously. Okay, so every tank's nightmare matchup, aka the worst possible team comp to go against him. It's a lot of Zen on it. All right. Let's think about this. Now, again, I want this to be not about what's the most effective. Let's have some fun with this. Not what's the most effective, but what's the most frustrating to play versus. All right. D.Va versus Zarya. Yeah, probably true. I think it's probably true. I mean, it doesn't mean that Zarya counters D.Va. It just means it's not fun to play versus. All right. Mei, definitely with the new Mei for sure. Maybe Sim, because Beam Hero. Well, Sombra might be problematic as well, even though D.Va's pretty good into Sombra. D.Va's kind of it's annoying to worry about Sombra hack all the time. Sim is not bad though. I think it's not bad. Brigitte, Moira, Brigitte. Who would I not like to play into as D.Va? I actually think it might be maybe Lucio. Maybe like Brig. Yeah, Brig Lucio is a good shot. Moira is like whatever. I can actually kill a Moira and you can eat orbs and stuff. And she's actually not that hard to kill. Maybe Brig Lucio would be worse. Like Brig Lucio. Again, not what counters necessarily, just what's the most annoying. Maybe Brig Lucio, or I don't know why I did this. But maybe a Lucio instead of Brig. So there's like nothing that you can really assassinate very easily. Lots of peel, lots of things that go right through. There's literally nothing to Matrix at all. Like, think about that. There's like nothing to Matrix. BAP is 2 don't dive. Yeah, but you can dive a BAP, you know? And you can Matrix BAP. I'm thinking Brig Lucio. I'm thinking Brig Lucio. Not what counters D.Va, but like what would be the most unfun way to play into D.Va. You derpy, thanks so much, so man. Hey, 6 months, all right. You got a new logo thing. Yeah, Brig Zen is a pretty good shout too. I think Brig Zen would be an honorable mention. Brig Zen would be good, would be tough too. Because a Zen with a Brig is really hard to dive. New bird just dropped? Yeah. Okay, Doomfist. Orisa? Maybe Orisa. Honestly, I feel like it'd be Roadhog. Maybe. Junker Queen is, I think, is a maybe, but Junker Queen feels like a little bit easier to avoid because Knife is harder to hit. Orisa is definitely tough, but I think like Roadhog is harder to annoy. Yeah. Doom can kind of bully hog a little bit, but just in terms of annoying, right? I'm not talking about like what actually counters Doom, but what's more annoying. Yeah, maybe Orisa or Hog. I think Orisa or Hog. I don't think Orisa is too bad. Doom, Sombra definitely. Sombra is actually Cassidy. Maybe. Yeah, with the new Hender. Yeah. It's so easy to hit. Yeah. Now, the backline is tricky for me because this can be a bit of a skill check. Now, we're not talking about what counters and what doesn't counter. However, I do think you have to consider that this is also an easier backline to kill. What about Brig? What do you get? Brig Ana, maybe. Yeah, maybe Brig Ana. Because it's not like, okay, let's put it this way. You don't need Discord to kill Doomfist. You know what I'm saying? Hack, sleep, stick, javelin, or hook. That you don't need Discord to kill the Doomfist. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking I agree. Either Zen Brig or Zen Ana. Or Brig Ana, excuse me. I think you bring Brig in there just to have another hero that can peel for the other squishier support and provide whip shots to worry about and provide rally, which is really annoying to worry about too. I think Brig Zen or Brig Ana are fine. I don't think you need Discord to kill Doomfist with this comp. I think it's miserable. Again, I'm not saying what counters, but just like it's not fun to play versus that. Ana Zen is still hard though, yeah, for sure. But at least you get the opportunity to like, I can get a nice squishy kill here and there. I think I would be more annoyed to play into that. Okay, Junker Queen. Orisa. Maybe? I don't hate the Orisa matchup that much. As long as you're not like chopping into Fortify too much. Again, it feels like would Zarya be worse? Or Ryan? No, I don't think Ryan's going to feel too bad. I think Ryan does technically better versus Queen, but... Yeah, I think Zarya... May, yes. Because it just sucks. You're good, Nen. Ooh, Echo's a good one actually, because you can't do jack all to Echo. Like you can't even touch her, and then she just copies you. It's so annoying. Like there's like nothing you can do versus Echo. Pharah is pretty bad too. What if it was like Zarya, Kiriko, Pharmacy? I feel like so many of these could just be Pharmacy. You know, you're like, what about Zarya, Echo, Pharmacy with a Kiriko, but a Kiriko Pharmacy. Zarya, Kiriko, but maybe Mei. I don't know. Mei's a different kind of annoying. Yeah, because it's not that good of a comp. Okay, so then what do you think? Echo, Kiriko, Lucio? What do you guys think? Zarya, Echo, Mei, Kiriko, Lucio. Can't touch her. Counters your ult. Counters your ult and wins the neutral. Just general cancer with wall and freeze. A support that you can't really do anything versus. Okay. Orisa. Winston? What? Bro, it's Zarya, man. It's Zarya. Zarya is like arguably the hardest tank counter of all tank counters in the game. Like there isn't a tank in the game that has a harder counter than Orisa has with Zarya. Like there's just no, like there isn't a harder tank counter. Like I'm trying to think here. Orisa does really well versus like Roadhog, but there's ways of like playing around it. For example, I can't think of another tank that counters another tank harder than Orisa counters Zarya, or Zarya counters Orisa. You can't avoid her, you can't outrange her, you don't anything. So just it's miserable right here. Zarya, definitely Discord. I definitely agree with Discord. I don't think Sombra or Tracer are problems. I actually, here's what I think. Watch this. Watch this. Ooh. Watch this. Zarya. Tracer, maybe. I don't think Sombra's that annoying. Sombra's kind of easy to deal with, honestly. Echo? I think Echo. Echo or Hanzo. Anything that can spam me out and prevent me from spamming. Mei is not that hard. Maybe either Ana or Bap as well. Or just raw spam. And depending on the map, if I can't get on top of this comp, I'm dead. And Echo is miserable because I can never get on top of her. Echo, Zarya, Tracer. No, I can't touch any of those heroes. Zenyatta discords me, and then they go Bap or Ana. I either kill backline or I lose. That's it. Sojourn doesn't do enough damage, I don't think. But yeah, I think it just depends on the comp as well. Okay. Ramatra. Orisa. Alright, hear me out. Ball. Obviously map dependent, but we're thinking worst case scenario here. I want you to imagine playing Ramatra versus Ball on Busan Sanctuary. What the frick do you do? What the frick do you do? On a good Ball map? Like, what do? You can't do anything to him. You literally can't do anything. Cassidy? Maybe? I'm not sure with Ramatra. I don't even know if Anazen scares me as... Maybe it does? Anazen is like a different flavor, though. I feel like Ramatra has some speed to deal with it, though. Yeah, I don't love the cast. The cast definitely can slow him down, but I don't think the cast is that big. So definitely Ball. I mean, again, not to be that guy, but you really could just go like Echo here and put out a Ball Echo. What if you... Okay, I got it, guys. Ball, Tracer, Echo, Mercy, Kiriko. What do you do? Seriously, what do you do? You can't do anything. Nap on a highway, thank you for the sub. You literally can't touch anything. Like, there's nothing you can do. I mean, unironically, you're like, do I cheat? Can I reach the Kiriko? Can I shoot the Tracer? Like, yeah, you're cooked. You're cooked. Okay, that would be, even if it's not, like, it doesn't have to be that good of a comp, it's just, it would be so boring to play versus. Reinhardt. I don't think it's Ramatra. Reinhardt's a weird one for me. It feels more like, depends on the comp. I don't think it's Ram. I don't mind playing into Ram. I don't mind playing into Ram at all. I might enjoy playing into Orisa less, personally. Not be... Huh? Alright, well, we're almost done.
No, just one.
Alright, thank you. Not because Orisa counters Reinhardt. I think that's a bit of an urban legend, but it's not very much fun playing Reinhardt into Orisa. Maybe Ball or Doom. Yeah, Ball or Doom. Maybe, I think Ball because Doom is a little bit easier to swing on. I would say Orisa or Ball for different reasons, right? Orisa just because she's not really fun to play into, even though she doesn't really counter you. But Orisa is boring, exactly. Right. Not Junkrat, even though Trap is kind of annoying. Tracer's pretty good versus Ryan. I would say Bastion, but Bastion is not only counterable, but he can feel pretty good. You know, you bait out his turret for him. You can shatter him. You can pin on him. I mean, maybe Echo again. Yeah. I mean, really, that might... So it's like, to me, it's like there's two ways of looking at it. You could basically just copy the Ramatra comp. Echo, the Echo, Ball, Echo Mercy, Kiriko, Tracer, right? That's good. Or if you just want to go like super grungy, nitty-gritty nastiness, I think you could go Orisa, Zen, Bap. Honestly, hear me out, guys. Junkrat wouldn't even be that bad. Just because of its displacement trap. Maybe Bastion. Maybe. What would be the grossest like brawl comp to play into? Like short, like just like not having a lot of mobility. DPS wise, I think Orisa, Zen, Bap, or Zen Ana would be okay. Reaper, no, Reaper is pretty good. Sim, you can swing on. She has to play too close. Maybe Reaper Bastion. Or Hanzo would be pretty tough too. Yeah, I don't know. I'll leave that one up in the air. I'm not really sure on that one. Roadhog. Yeah, I think Orisa's fair. Orisa's fair. Sojourn doesn't feel frustrating to play versus. She builds rail off of you immediately, but you don't really care. It's more about your team has to suffer. So I don't think Sojourn's it. Like, even though Sojourn does very well versus Hog, it's still fun to play. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know that it's maybe Reaper. Now that you can't one-shot consistently. Echo again, yeah. Some sort of poke DPS, maybe like would be tough. Some sort of poke DPS with Orisa, Discord, Sleep Dart. Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. But also at the same time, Hog would be good into that, would not be good, but would be okay into that comp. If you wanted a comp that Hog couldn't play into, but wouldn't feel as bad, would be like Reinhardt, Reaper, May, Moira, or Lucio, right? You couldn't do anything. Like, you just do nothing. But it wouldn't feel terrible, you know? Like, just go like Ram or Ryan, and then Reaper, May, with like Ana or Lucio, or even just like Bap Lucio, Moira Lucio. It's just over. You can't do anything. You can't one-shot like anybody. Hog is such a weird one though. Sigma. Very map dependent, but let's just think about what would be the least fun to play into. Okay, hear me out, chat. Hear me out. Not saying it counters, but the least fun tank to play the Sigma into for me is very easy. Very easy for me. You guys ready for this one? The least fun to tank to play Sigma into is Zarya. Hard to hit, bubbles are annoying, Rock doesn't feel particularly useful, and she counters your ultimate. It's not even like she counters you, she's just not fun to play into. It's just not very like other tanks are better, but like I don't feel like I do anything. It's frustrating. Like, I don't enjoy playing Sigma into Zarya at all. Sombra is a great shout because Hack is so annoying to play into, and you can't like okay, I actually think this is a pretty good list with the exception of maybe the tank, because I disagree with I agree with the DPS lineup here. Because you can't really do a lot versus this. It's not very fun to shoot these guys. It's not fun to shoot this guy. It's not fun to shoot this guy. It's not fun to shoot this guy. I would say maybe like Kiri Lucio, though. What do you guys think? Nothing to really spam. Your ult doesn't really get value at all. Nothing really to rock. There's just nothing to shoot. There's no dopamine at all. I get 0 dopamine. But Zen I can actually shoot. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, Kiriko is just like, what do you do? Like, Everything's evasive. You just stand there like an idiot. Yeah, I think. I just, again, not talking about counter, just what feels worse. Winston. I think Junker Queen is pretty good. I think Diva is also pretty good too. Although I will say maybe Junker Queen, because even though Diva is the better counter, more consistent counter, Junker Queen feels a lot worse to play into. The shout and then her, she's just annoying. Like, she's annoying. And I will say that I would probably choose Bastion over Reaper. I like the Torb pick, actually. Torb is actually really annoying. You don't have anything to do with turret. He's really hard to dive and kill. He has his overload. He really, really smokes you. But in terms of like just really boring to play versus, I'd rather play versus Reaper than I would a Bastion. But I freaking hate playing versus Torbjorn Bastion. It'd be so frustrating. What do you guys think? Backline wise? I don't even know. Like, Zen Ana is a shout to where, like, on a good map, it's like really rough, right? But maybe like Moira Lucio. Maybe like Moira Lucio. Mercy can like, you could definitely go the opposite direction with this one as well. Nah, Lucio ain't that bad, but the problem is then you can't, if you replace Lucio with another support, it's a support that Winston can isolate. They don't need to do anything to you. Everything else, they don't die, and then everything else does stuff to you. No, the composition doesn't need to be viable. Like, think about this: Junker Queen, Bastion, Torbjorn, Moira, Lucio. What's the plan here? Or Kiriko, right? What's the plan? I think on some maps, running like on some maps, something like a Junker Queen, Echo, Mercy, Kiriko would be good here. That would be more frustrating for me. Echo Mercy is brutal as Winston. I think Echo Mercy is another one that's really hard to deal with. And the reason I say Echo Mercy over Pharmacy is because Pharmacy is easier to avoid. Echo Mercy is harder to avoid. Echo Mercy can just straight up kill a Winston. Just kill a Winston. Get stickies, you're done. You're dead. You died. It's over. But the problem with running Mercy is that theoretically it does expose the Kiriko to being dove. Like, you can dive the Kiriko, she TPs away, next dive you can pursue. So I don't know. Again, it depends on which way do you want to approach that. Like a really tight-knit group where you get no dopamine, or a group where you can assassinate stuff, but it's extremely punishing if you make a mistake. So Moira, Lucio, Bastion, Torb, Queen, or you could go like, for example, a really bad comp, like on a certain map, would be like Diva, Echo, Torbjorn, Mercy, Kiriko. Think about playing that in like Havana first. You know what I'm saying? That would be miserable to play into that on like on certain sightlines, or like a Circuit Royale. You couldn't do anything. Wrecking Ball. Wrecking Ball. I think Roadhog is fine. Like, I don't see any tank that I'd enjoy less playing Wrecking Ball more into Roadhog. I disagree. I think Roadhog's more annoying when comboed with other things. Queen is the worst, really? Jungle Queen is worse than Hog? Fair enough. Alright. I actually think this comp is good. I think this is good. I think you can maybe insert Sombra in here somewhere, but with a new grenade and new slow, like it's rough, mate. Like it is rough. Hinder is really hard, and the new freeze is really hard to deal with too. I would, at least versus Sombra, there's ways of like you can hunt her Translocator and Isolator. And again, high risk, high reward here, right? Like there's not, like you can theoretically kill people in this comp, but it's more likely that they're going to kill you. So yeah, this comp looks pretty good, to be honest with me, for the most part. I think, you know, you could insert if you guys think Queen's fine. You could do Brig in here as well. Yeah, Brig Zen on a Brig as well would be fine too. Because Whip Shot is really difficult to deal with, and keeping the other support alive and rally, that's hard too. Zarya, Reinhardt. I think Zarya, Winston or Reinhardt, depends on the map. No, I think this is a good DPS lineup. You can't do anything. You can't, like, it's the thing is like it's always okay. Here's another one too. You could also do like the Echo Mercy kind of a thing again. I not to be that guy, like we keep bringing out Echo, but either Hanzo or Echo, just two DPS DPS you can't touch, right? But if you're gonna go that direction, I wouldn't go Reinhardt. I would go like Kiriko Mercy with Winston. Again, just another situation where you can't touch anything. If you wanted to go full brawl mode, you'd go Rein, Mei, Reaper, like Bap Lucio or something like that. The problem with this comp is it has like anti-synergy, right? Like this hero doesn't make any sense with these. So like you would go like full into this with like Ball or like Winston or something. With double sniper or something like that. Feels like you do nothing though on Zarya. That's true. Yeah, Zarya is super unfulfilling versus snipers, but yeah. This is fun. I like this post. I don't know. This is enjoyable, and I think their rankings were for an r/Overwatch. It's all right. Not bad. It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. Mercy kind of weird here. I assume it's because the person was pairing them with the snipers. Yeah, it is a little bit out of place. Could do the same thing for all DPS characters. I mean, yeah, you really could. You could do the same thing for DPS. You could do the same thing for supports. Some of it would get a little bit repetitive, but yeah. For example, think about doing one with Zenyatta. Oh my days, there'd be a lot in there. What would be Zenyatta's? What would be Zenyatta's? Definitely Sombra. Definitely Sombra. I think what would I dislike? What would I dislike? They sell World Cup skins? Yeah, I think you could buy them in the game. How counterable is a hero? Oh, that's a good one too. And we could be a little bit more like competitively competitive, like, and keep the competitive integrity with that one. All right, chat. Speaking of counterable and questionable heroes, I'm gonna toss a raid over to Hairloaf, who is a Bastion player, #1 Bastion player. And the stream title says he is him, he is that guy, he is the one, he is literal him material. So I think obviously we have a high potential for a really enjoyable stream. Chat, I'll chat with you guys on Tuesday. Loves and kisses. I'll see you guys later. Hop in the raid. And give we're fixing to support a Bastion player. Pretty sure that's against the Geneva Convention. Loves and kisses. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'll see you guys later. Spilo out.